We start at 107. After a series of dramatic qualifying heats, we are now down to 42 of the fastest drivers that showed up here to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And now, without further ado, it is time for the biggest race and the most important race of the Insomniac Elite Series season. It is the Sony 400. 400 miles of racing, 160 lap race here. Anything could happen, and double points are on the line. So if you slip up here, it could cripple your championship hopes. You want to have a good run in this race. Every one of the last few seasons, in the past 3 races we've had here and the last 2 Sony 400s, the champion has always had a good finish in this race. That tells you just how important it is to finish well at Indy. But of course, while we got a lot of guys fighting for the championship, we also have one-offs looking to make their name. Many drivers are making their first starts here in the Elite Series today. And of course, the PT Cup was granted free entry. And this has been known for a while, but don't forget, this race does count for PT Cup points. So if you do well here, it could absolutely make your PT Cup effort. And we do have a few of those drivers in the field today. They'll be looking to finish well. Now, I don't want to keep you waiting, so why don't we get down to the track and show you the starting grid for this year's running of the Sony 400. Taking out the pole award is car number 27, Cosmic Nova for the Wrecking Balls, and on his outside is your current Insomniac Elite Series points leader, Ryder Smith, looking to extend his lead. His car owner, Sean Angel, lines up on the inside of row number 2, and on his outside is Charles Sanford. Sanford has always had a lot of success at this racetrack, and he is hoping this will be the year for him to win the 400. The next row consists of Maxwell Chan in the 51, and on his outside it is Seth Cole, who came up just shy last year and is looking for redemption. On the inside of row number 4 is William Duncan. On his outside is his good friend Chris Louvier, who will be looking to get himself right back into the title fight. Then we move on the inside of row number 5, where we have Niko Polyakov and Dylan Young in a shock qualifying effort for the Young Motorsports team. Row 6 consists of Henry Sanford, back again to try for a win, and on his outside is Nick Pericles. On the inside of row number 7, Mercedes makes their debut as Monster Mercedes Racing makes the field with 2-time IndyCar Series champion Amy Shelley as its driver. On her outside is Connor Atwood. This track's been trouble for him these last few years. He'll be looking for redemption. It's an all-team fun to row 8 with Matt Duncan hanging up the inside and Ray Krager on his outside. In row number 9, it's 2 young guns in Alyssa Kirby and Brandon Barnes. Current IndyCar Series points leader Scott Roush heads up the inside of row number 10, and on his outside it is Allie Nelson, who is finally running her first Sony 400. On row number 11, it is Kyle Collins and James Shelley, 2 very fast drivers who are maybe starting a bit further back than they would have liked. And now on the inside of row number 12, it is Ryan Manson, who's been looking strong as ever, and he'll be looking to shock the racing world with a Sony 400 victory. And on his outside, it is Tyler Faber with a bit of a disappointing qualifying effort for the Hamilton driver. Row number 13 has Baron Praxis, someone who always thrives under pressure, and on his outside is none other than your reigning Sony 400 and Elite Series champion DJ Curtis. On the inside of row 14, it is Shrimp Ingrats making his Elite Series debut for Hamilton Autosports, and on his outside it is 2016 IndyCar Series champion and 2015 Indy 500 winner Jessica Monroe for Fingai Saitomi Motorsports. On the inside of row number 15 is car number 15 of Phyllis Fedor, a shock qualifier into the field, and on her outside is Alan Cavagnaro, who's won the 1-in-70, the biggest race in the Slim Jim Series, and he is looking to be the first driver in history to do the sweep. On row number 16, it is all Mach-Free Motorsports, as Chris Bryant heads up the inside, and on his outside is Rio Lucas, a newbie looking to impress. On the inside of row number 17 is none other than the dark horse himself, Danny Everett, looking to maybe pull off a second Sony 400 victory. And on his outside, it is Super GT driver Kay Nagase making her debut for Newcom Motors. On row number 18 is Mark Lefevre-Veen for Trailblazer Motorsports. And on his outside is Ryan Acosta, an IndyCar vet who has a lot of experience on this racetrack. Row number 19 consists of another shock qualifier, Aiden Shepard. He'll be looking to make the most of his opportunity here today. His outside is 19-year-old Stavros Dimitriou for SkyTech Racing. Subaru making their first start in the series, and it's also the first start for a Greek driver in the Elite Series. Row number 20 consists of 2 strong drivers with disappointing qualifying efforts, Reese Black of Dodge Motorsports and Jeffrey Fingai for Shell United Motors. Watch them to be ones that cut through the field here today. And then, rounding out the field on row 21, it is Jock Day Cook, Ian Masterson Racing making their 3rd start here in a row, And on his outside, it is 51-year-old journeyman Fred Jones, who had to go to the rear after wrecking his primary in practice. And that is the full field of 42 cars that will be taking the green flag for this year's Sony 400. But here is the other 65 that were sent home in the heat races. Now, with all of that out of the way, it's finally time to get down to the track for the race. The engines have been fired, and as the field does their pace lap, hundreds and thousands of fans from all across the world wait eagerly for the drop of the green flag. And you can see everyone, all 42 cars drive past your screen now. Each one of them seeks victory here today. And the top 4 starters have all been constant threats for the championship. Kazakh Nova, Ryder Smith, Sean Angel, Charles Sanford. It's like they have all been major contenders, been a threat in almost every race. And at the front of them all is Nova, and he needs this. He needs to do well here. This has always been a good racetrack for him. He's had a few setbacks lately, most notably his recent penalty after Watkins Glen. But this would be his best chance to make up points here today. He wants to win the biggest race of the year, but so does 41 other people. Now here we go. Off of turn number 4. The crowd gets on their feet as Kazakh Nova and Ryder Smith lead them down. Now we just wait for the flagman. Getting closer to that line. 160 laps and 2.5 hours of racing from now, we'll find out who's the winner of the Sony 400. We're green. We're rocking it, Indy. Kazakh Nova, good start from him. Not like Maxwell Chan did not get such a good start. Seth Cole's able to get in line. He's gonna move past him, and he's already making a move on Sean Angel for second. Seth Cole was very fast here last year, and he is wasting no time getting up to the front. But you can see Nova is breaking away. We know very well with this year's aero package that battling costs you a ton of time. And that's good news for Nova. He leads the first lap of the race, but of course, that's the first of 160. He's got a long way to go, but definitely a good start already. Cole was not able to pass the 14. Maxwell Chan, he did not get a good jump, but he's already in line. He's right behind the 25. He's looking to make a move. William Duncan, also with a good start. A few other drivers that start back. Oh, almost contact between Polyakov and his teammate Henry Sanford. Niko Polyakov needs a good run here to get his championship fight back in order. And he's going to pass his teammate. There. 3 wide. William Duncan, let's figure out before he's getting 3 wide. They weren't for a minute. He wisely backs out of it. You don't want to make those kinds of moves. It's way too soon for that. And Kyle Collins, he rolled off 21st. He's already on the move. We run through the field. Pack is starting to string out. These drivers, they don't want to push it too hard. After all, you don't want to use up your stuff too early and or just get too aggressive too early and cause a wreck. Because this is by far, at its core a test of endurance. It's the longest race of the year by far. You don't want to give it all too early, because that could absolutely kill your run later, or you could just trash the car, and that's the end of that. Henry Sanford, though, already on the move. He is pushing very hard, and so is Amy Shelley. Of course, Shelley has a lot of experience in this racetrack, a 2-time IndyCar Series champion. making her Elite Series debut, and she's doing it for Mercedes, and this is also that manufacturer's first start. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, Sean Angel has now caught the 27. It's been a single file train here for second through fourth, and once you do that, you can definitely work together, catch the draft. The effect of the draft is pretty strong, but here comes Seth Cole with the slingshot. He's going to spoil Angel's party, and he's up to second. Louvier will follow suit. He takes advantage of that, and I'll drop Angel down to fourth. We all know how fast the S3 cars are on tracks like this. He's good. He's drafting behind the 27 now. And it's only a matter of time. There we go. He's already moved out of line, and here he comes. Oh, almost made contact. He really dove it in there. And every side by side through turn number 3. However, you really need to hold it in 4 because the outside is actually the preferred line there. You can actually really get a run off of 4. And now with the pack is starting to get a bit dense, it's starting to pack up here at the front. The Chan, Sanford, Shelley, Duncan, they're all up here now. And that's just what happens in this aero package. It's basically a domino effect. Like, you get one pass, and it slows them down so much that everyone else is able to start catching up. It's certainly an interesting aero package, one that some of the drivers have complained about. I know Cosmic Nova wasn't necessarily a fan of it. Cosmic Nova did go on to say that he was not a fan of this aero package. Some drivers do like the pack racing that it presents, however. Matt Duncan, Danny Everett, they liked the aero package. They were definitely major fans of it. And there's the Hamilton cars in the back. Nick Pericles, Brandon Barnes, to the young guns there. Barnes and Kirby, they're already on the move. There'll be people to keep an eye on here today. And Amy Shelley up to third. She's had a fantastic start in the Mercedes. But now Louvier has caught up to the back of the 25. Will he make a move down the back straight, or is he going to be a bit more patient than Seth Cole was? He's not made a move yet. He is keeping it quiet behind the 25. Alright, so yeah, nothing big there. But yeah, UC College is already catching up. Yeah, he's already in the top 10. He's challenging Maxwell Chan. Yeah, he's challenging Maxwell Chan back there. Chan really lost out on that run, and Matt Duncan is on them. We have drivers on the move. How about Matt Duncan? He is flying right now. He's already up to third. Yeah, Matt Duncan has been having a pretty good season so far. It's been a very strong sophomore year for Duncan. Imagine what it would be, what it would mean to the Duncan family if you could cap off a victory here today. His father, William Duncan, during his time in the Cup Series, oh wow, look at Angel, almost contacting the two. Between William Duncan's time in the old IRCA Cup Series, he never won a Daytona 500, that series' biggest race. Now we have the Elite Series' biggest race, the Sony 400. I know Matt would love to bring his father home a big trophy like that. Of course, William himself is in this race. He could also win. He could also win this race, and he's had a good car. He could be a dark horse, although he has certainly not had a good start to this race. He's fallen back. Yeah, fallen back to 21st. It's been a poor start for the 97. Tripp Ingrid's making his debut, is up to 20th. He's been doing very well in the Junior Series this year. He is currently second in the standings. It's been a great year for him so far. But as Matt Duncan, he's now trying to chase down the top two. Louvier is keeping it behind the 25. He's just logging laps, maybe trying to draft and save fuel. And Seth Cole does lead the way here at Indy. We got a few guys still in the back right now. Both the Show United cars of Jeffrey Finguy and DJ Curtis have fallen behind. They are not running too well at the moment. As they cross the stripe, we'll see where they are ranked. Finguy is in 34th and DJ Curtis in 45th. I definitely feel like Curtis is playing a long game here. We know how good he is at this track. Of course, he's the defending winner of the Sony 400. And he will be one to watch. He's probably just playing it patient right now. And he is racing the Mach 3 cars. He's racing the Mach 3 cars of Christopher Bryant and Rio Lucas. Rio Lucas really showed a lot of pace in his heat race. didn't do quite as well in the practice sessions and in qualifying, but there's certainly a lot of promise here with Rio Lucas, and he's also just trying to. Of course, this is his first ever race, so he is just trying to log laps and gain experience. Maybe try to turn a few heads. And there's Dylan Young. That Young Motorsports car is certainly going to struggle. He started top 10, but he has really lost some ground. Oh, is that going to be free wide? Ooh, it was almost free wide. Luckily, it wasn't. And Bryant will go past the 78 there. Bouvier challenging Seth Cole for the lead once again. He did take the lead briefly earlier, but he could not hold on to it. But look who's now behind harassing 98. It's Nick Pericles, someone who absolutely desperately needs a good race here to get his season back on track, because it has not been a good year for the Floridian. There's actually been rumors that he's on the hot seat, that RJ Manson might not. There are rumors that RJ Manson will not renew his contract for next year if he doesn't pick it up. It's certainly the way to do it. He's now challenging the 98 for second. This is maybe one of the best cars that Nick Pericles has had all year. So here's hoping it holds together. I think he might get it. Well, actually, I don't know. Louvier has a good run. Pericles does not have any draft, and that's probably going to be a problem. And here's Matt Duncan with a huge head of steam. And I think that puts into perspective just how much speed you lose battling for position. Yeah, Duncan's getting a draft, but what allowed him to really catch up there was them battling. And we look behind there, Amy Shelley. Brandon Barnes is up to 6th. This is a fantastic start for the youngster there. Barnes, 18 years of age, for making his Elite Series debut here today for the Wrecking Balls. And he is looking, he won his heat race, and he's looking incredibly fast right now, so in the main. So Barnes definitely turning heads. And Pericles challenging Bouvier again, but this time he's got a push from Duncan, and here comes Shelley and Barnes. Barnes not going to help his car owner. He wants to get to the front. And that is that's going to push Bouvier way out of line. Yeah, he is being left out to dry on the high side there. You want to be on that inside. This is a one-groove track. You get thrown up to the high side, you're pretty much dead. You're going to fall back unless it's in 4. You can get a run off of 4. Oh, Amy Shelley. Shelley does have a reputation as an aggressive driver. Not too surprised to see her try to pull something like that. And I think she knows she has to push the car. Monster Mercedes did bring a good pair of cars, but they don't necessarily have the development, because of course that's a brand new car. Mercedes' first ever foray into stock car racing. And I'd certainly say it's a success so far, even though Shelley's teammate Ben Thompson failed to qualify. But now Nick Pericles is trying to chase down the 25. Here comes Barnes. Barnes is making a move for P4, and here comes Duncan for P2. Side by side and free. Will he be able to make it stick? I don't think he will. Nope. Pericles got a good run off of 4, and he'll hold on to second. Barnes, though, still side by side of Shelley. I think he's got a push. Look at that pack of cars back there. I don't think he's not able to get Shelley, but I think he's gonna go back after her. Yeah, he's looking underneath. Barnes just will not give up. And look who's behind him. Kazakh Nova has entered the fray. He kind of fell back a few laps ago, but he's back up here now. Yeah, this aero package also does create a lot of shuffling. You have to keep that in mind, and I'm sure Nova has kept that in mind. And he is pushing. There's a car in the pit lane. That was Jeffrey Finguy. But Barnes, I think Barnes got into the 80 there. Yeah, he got into her. You saw the back end kind of swiveling around. Good job from Barnes to keep that under control. He certainly has some good car control for someone his age. But he's a much more experienced teammate of Nova right behind him. And they're gonna work together. They pulled out at the same time. And Barnes will might be able to get past Shelley here. And Nova's gonna continue working with Barnes. Yeah, that's gonna leave Shelley out to dry there. She's got a solid run off of 4, but there's no way she's going to clear. And that will be Brandon Barnes up at P4. Here's a look at Stavros Dimitriou. So he is 19 years of age. He is the first Greek driver to make a start, and Subaru is also making their debut here today. He's running 34 right now, but he has a problem. That car's slowing, and someone just hit the 92. That bunched up the field, and Reese Black was not able to avoid the 92 of Jeffrey Finguy. And, oh, wow, that's torn up the right side of the 92. But Stavros Dimitriou, he's making his debut, and so is Subaru, but he is reporting a loss of fuel pressure on that car, and that car is not going anywhere. He's going to have to stop it. No YOLO coming out, but he'll have to pull it back. And look at both Reese Black and Jeffrey Finguy have lost a ton of speed, and Finguy's car, I think they're reporting an issue there. They may want to get that fixed. You do not want to get damage on this track. You do not want to get damage on this track, period, because aerodynamics are the most important thing here in Indianapolis. You can see it there. Look how slow to 4 he's going. It's like there's not even anything visual. He just bumps, like there was a bump, and it damaged something, and that car is now way off the pace. But Finguy was also hurt. You see there's a major dent on the 92, on the right side of the 92. Barnes will soon have a challenge as he faces pressure from the 18 of Ryder Smith. We haven't actually seen Smith since the start of the race, but he is steadily climbing his way back up the order, and he has the fastest lap of the race. His fastest lap is a full 10th quicker than the second fastest lap from William Duncan. So Ryder Smith is definitely on a roll, but he did not get a good run off of 4. He wasn't able to make a move on Barnes. There's another person we haven't really seen since the start, Charles Sanford. He's also got a good race car, third fastest lap, and he is flying. Sanford will be one to watch out for. He loves this racetrack. He's won here before in the Slim Jim Series, so he has won races at this track. This hasn't, but the Elite Series, the big one, it saluted him. We'll be looking to change that here today. And we got a few names rising towards the front that we haven't seen yet. Connor Atwood in the 33 and Ray Krager in the 17. Krager has definitely made a reputation of this being one of his better racetracks. He finished in the top 5 here last year, driving a one-off for Team Thunder. Connor Atwood, this track has not been so kind for the Aussie, but Atwood did say he has a good race car, and then 51 goes up in smoke. Oh, that is awful. Oh, Lavier just turned him. Poyakov hit him, and that's a big stack up. I think someone hit him as well. And look at James Shelley go. Shelley is just plowed for the stack up at full throttle. And look at all those spots he's gonna gain. How about that? That was an extremely brave move from the Virginian. Oh, but it is very unsettled. Hopefully they don't wreck it. A good car control from these guys, but YOLO is out. That will be the first caution of the day here on lap 27, and it will be Seth Cole that takes the YOLO. That is a heartbreak for Maxwell Chan. He had such a good race car, and there goes the 14, and the 12 gets into him. Head on it, a wall goes the 14, and that car is toast. That was an engine blowout. And just like that, Sean Angel is out of the race. 2 major mechanical failures have struck. Maxwell Chan and Sean Angel both with major mechanical failures, and they will both fall out of the race, and that is heartbreaking. And at the same time, Stavros Dimitriou's Subaru goes up in smoke. He was already having problems with fuel pressure, and now the entire engine's gone out. And, well, that is a tough break for Dimitriou, but, they are going to take that car back to the shop and diagnose what's going on with that, because Subaru's new engine is not working. Two major problems are going to take the Greek driver out of the race, and that is certainly a shame for him. He was showing some good pace, but it just was not meant to be. Now let's take a look at what happens here. will be centered on the 51 of Maxwell Chan. But Chan is obviously going to be very heartbroken over this. Like this, Maxwell Chan had a terrible race car here last year. He was struggling, and that basically killed his championship bid. It kind of began his downward spiral of form. There it goes. There goes the engine. I was gonna say this was the polar opposite. This was the best car. This is the best car Chan's ever had at this track, and well, it seems the engine just wasn't going to hold together. It just wasn't meant to be. He doesn't know what to do. He's kind of swerving around, and Atwood, he sneaks on past Louvier, but he hits him. He got in the 98, and then they go up the track. Polyakov has nowhere to go, and that puts both the 51 and the 40 into the wall, and with terminal damage on both cars. And Polyakov did not need that at all. That basically is going to kill it. That is going to absolutely put a stop to his form. But here's James Shelley. Now, you see the field got stacked up from that. Shelley decided he was going to punch it and go all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack. And that was a very smart move from Shelley. It got him a lot of spots. Lots of spots there for James Shelley. He did lose it a little bit there. He kind of got in the apron, but we're gonna see as he crosses the stripe here where he's running. Okay, so he was 28th as of the last lap. We'll see where he is now. He gained 16 spots from that move. He went all the way from 28th to 12th, so that absolutely paid off for James Shelley. Now, here's the other incident with Sean Angel. And Sean Angel, he was kind of falling back a little bit. He certainly was having some issues. He's got Aiden Shepard right behind him. You're going to see that the 14 is going to grenade right in front of Shepard, and honestly, Shepard has nowhere to go. And get into the braking zone, that 14 really slowed, and Shepard turned him. He didn't know the 14 was going to slow that much, so you can't really blame him. It's really a tough break for Shepard as well, because that caused some pretty heavy damage on the 12. Yeah, you see the hood is all buckled up, so that's probably put an end to Shepard's race as well. But that's a hard break for him, and that's going to put a major dent in Sean Angel's title hopes, because of course, double points. This is the most important race of the year for the championship, and Sean Angel is going to walk away with nothing. But now that we're under yellow, this does give everyone a chance to come down pit road and make their first pit stop of the day. We'll be seeing a few pit stops, and obviously this is the best opportunity to make one. Yeah, you're going to see it here. The entire field is coming down. Nobody is staying out. So now, what begs the question is, what are you going to do? Are you going to just take 4 fresh tires, try to hope for a long run, or are you going to take 2 tires, maybe even fuel only, in order to try and gain as much track position as possible? Because track position is actually important here. It can be a bit more difficult to pass than you would think. Because honestly, we've seen it in the Aero package. Yeah, there's a lot of pack racing, and yeah, you can really boost to a car. However, it's not so easy to actually make a pass. Because like when you're running single file, it becomes significantly more difficult to do that. The track position does mean a lot. Seth Cole, it seems most of the front runners here did take 4 tires. Seth Cole gets out with the lead. Nick Pericles in second, and Matt Duncan in third. Barnes with a good pit stop, and so did Nova. And James Shelley, with a solid pit stop, is going to get into the top 10. Danny Everett, I believe, only took 2 tires. And he's up to 12. So, good stop from the 56 crew. Well, Connor Atwood was slated to restart in 9th, but he's got an issue. You see, he pulled down onto the apron and on the access road. Connor Atwood saying he's got a tire down. He's going to have to bring it back down pit road, and that is a tough break for Connor Atwood. Once again, this racetrack bites him. This has definitely been one of the biggest obstacles in his championship bid. One of the biggest obstacles in his championship bids each year has definitely been this racetrack right here, and it has bit him again. Tough break for Atwood. He will be able to get back on track. We'll see if he can catch back up in time for the restart, because we will be going back to green flag racing this time. Because of that, Tyler Faber is now up to 10th. Let's give you a look at our running order. Seth Cole, it will restart as your leader. He's been the fastest guy on the racetrack so far. He's been dominating the early stages of this race. Nick Pericles is second. Matt Duncan third. Brandon Barnes fourth. Charles Sanford fifth. Kozak Nova sixth. Henry Sanford seventh. Ray Prager 8th, James Shelley 9th, Tyler Faber 11th, and we have Danny Everett, Amy Shelley, Chris Louvier, Cal Collins, Alan Cavagnaro, Ryan Manson, Ryder Smith from Poor Pit Stop, William Duncan, Melissa Kirby, and Scott Roush, the rest of your top 20. We go down further, got people like Allie Nelson 21st, Aiden Shepard, he's restarting 25th, but he hasn't. You can see just how much that little contact actually hurt him, as they had to take the whole hood off of that 12 car, and that is basically going to kill Aiden Shepard's race. There is no way he's going to run well with that. It's a shame. Shepard was flirting up the points when that incident happened. Like the youngster here, he's been a young rookie. He has been impressing, but he has been plagued by bad luck. And, I mean, when you're driving for Young Motorsports, bad luck is kind of a regular thing. Mach 3 Motorsports continue to run together. Maybe not be as fast as they have in years past, but look for them to make a move towards the front over time. DJ Curtis, he restarts in 30th. Fred Jones, he hasn't made a whole lot of progress. He's 32nd. Jessica Monroe, Dylan Young, they're back here. Finn Guy and Reese Black, they're still on the racetrack. And there's Atwood. I don't think he's going to... He's kind of staying back. I don't think he's going to catch up to the line. There's the pace car. We're going to watch the back here. And we're going to watch the back here in a minute. But there's your green flag. We're back underway. Now, Atwood, there he is. He has not caught up to the line. However, well, he's going to meet a car soon. Yeah, there's definitely something wrong with the 40 of Reese Black. That car is not go. There is no go in the 40. So Atwood will catch him soon, but yeah, Atwood was left behind. He didn't catch up to the line, and that is going to be very awkward. He'll be hoping for a quick caution, but here comes, we got Bow for the lead. Here comes Nick Pericles. Pericles down low underneath the 25, and he's gonna have a good run here. The inside might be a little stronger in 4 because we're not fully up to speed. Oh, but Cole's still gonna power off the corner. The Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet is a very good race car. Oh yeah, look at that momentum. He's really getting it going in a straight line, and no, Cole holds on to the lead. Oh, Matt Duncan! Oh, he almost cut off the 24 of Sanford, but here comes Charles Sanford. He's just gonna pound the back of that 6. His runner is right on his tail. The Sanfords running 4th and 5th, and we'll have to look out for them. We know how fast they are on this racetrack. Pericles has now moved back in line with behind that 25. And Charles, ooh, he bumps the 6 out of the way. Couldn't make a run stick though. Could not make it stick, and that's gonna allow Matt Duncan to get away. And now they're going to watch their rear because here comes Ray Krager. This is some of the most speed Krager's shown. This is the most speed Krager's shown so far this year. It's not been. I don't think Krager's had the rookie season. He's won it. There goes the 11. Car number 11's around, and so is the 98 in favor. Ooh, hits the wall twice. And that is going to bring the caution out for the second time today. And Chris Louvier I don't know if he has any damage, but that might hurt him. It's certainly, well, it is going to hurt him. He's gone to the very back of the field. He's lost all of that track position, and I mean, that's the last thing you would want. Because like I said, track position here is more important than you might think. As the aero package is a little difficult to overtake on. Oh, Matt Duncan with a problem. Oh no, that's gotta suck. I don't think it's terminal. Yeah, there's Matt Duncan radioing to his crew chief. It is a flat. Now since it happened just there on a cooldown lap, he will be able to go make a pit stop, and it will be able to make a pit stop, and it won't really hurt him as bad as Connor Atwood. Of course, Atwood's gonna be pretty pleased about this because that will bring him back up to the field, and that is a tough break for Matt Duncan. But of course, this is a long race. He will still have time to get back up there. Now, just look what happened. There's Chris Bouvier. I mean, he's on the inside. He's going to try and dive it in here and make a move on Tyler Faber. What he didn't expect was Amy Shelley to try to make a move. Faber, I think, was a bit unsettled behind the 88. He hit some dirty air from Henry Sanford, and they go 3 wide. Shelley makes contact the 11. They go down the track at 98, and really at that point, there's not a whole lot you can do. Now, Shelley actually saved the car, so that's pretty impressive, but she's still hooked. And there goes the 11. 11 gets spun around. Louvier can't miss it. He hits him, and they both spin. Yeah, Faber did not hit the wall twice. Yeah, Louvier got into him, and then he's trying to save it. Nope, into the wall, and he hit that pretty hard. That's definitely going to cause some significant aero damage to the 11. They'll be able to get it going again, but that's absolutely going to hurt Tyler Faber. So his hopes of winning this race are probably over. We have just gotten word of some major problems here. Watch 98. The gearbox blows as he leaves his pit stall. Yeah, that's right. The 98 broke leaving his pit stall, and that's going to be the end of the race for Chris Louvier. Some major champion. This track continues to plague Louvier, and this is going to put a huge dent in his title run, and it's some major championship implications as the 98 will fall out. We'll be going back to green on lap number 39 of 160. The first quarter of this race is almost over. Now the top 5 on this restart all stayed out. Seth Cole is your leader. Henry Sanford is in second. James Shelley is third. Baron Praxis is fourth. Alyssa Kirby is fifth. Then is Nick Pericles, Amy Shelley, Charles Sanford, Ray Prager, and Brandon Barnes are in your top 10. Then we go to Kyle Collins, Cosmic Nova, Scott Roush, Ryder Smith, Matt Duncan down to 15th. He didn't lose as much as he maybe would have thought he would. Christopher Bryant 16th. I think he may have done fuel only. Alyssa Kirby 17th, Ryan Manson 18th, and Ryan Acosta 19th, and Jock Day Cook in the Masterson rounds out your top 20. Certainly had some interesting strategy calls under this yellow. Like I said, people are going to make those kinds of calls. It's a long race. Strategy could mean everything. It could mean winning or losing. It could mean winning or losing the race. And also, everyone wants to win here. So you see people take risks. And Ariel Green's back out. And Shelley did not get a good restart. Conversely, Henry Sanford is right on the 25's tail. I saw him. He got a good jump. The question is, will he make a move? Right now, it looks like the answer is no. He might be hanging behind a 25. He may be just deciding to help his teammate. I think, like, he knows he might. I think Sanford might just be playing the being patient. Pericles peeked out of line. They're all single file. Oh wait, no, they're not. Here comes Sanford. And there you go. Henry just peeked out of line. There goes Praxis and his technical partner, Alyssa Kirby. Of course, Boost Autosports is in a technical alliance with Team Thunder. And here comes Praxis. Praxis is looking, he was pushing for the lead. And there's contact between the teammates. Baron Praxis is right in the thick of this. He is the underdog here in a group of stars. He is the underdog here. But Baron Praxis, you do not want to count Praxis out. You do not want to count him out of any race, especially one of these big races, because he has a reputation as someone who thrives under pressure. And what more pressure is there than the Sony 400? Now he did just move over for Alyssa Kirby. He doesn't want to go for broke. Don't worry, he's able to score points for the PT Cup. So he does not want to go too hard on the car and cause a wreck. And well, there you go. Yellow's back out. And I think it's for Fred Jones and Rio Lucas. Oh, Jeffrey Finn guy, the front end's all smashed in. Oh, that is a tough break. Finn guy has not had a good weekend here at Indianapolis. He got in for the last chance qualifier, but he ran. He was having issues in the practice sessions. And I think there's a bit of a stack up here. Oh, we got a car blown up. That's Kyle Collins, and that's gonna come as a huge shock because that car has been one of the most reliable and consistent teams in the field. And they just had a gearbox go under yellow. I think it might be called. Oh, there's a stack up in the back, and Marco Ferravin just plowed into the 33. I think Everett had damage. Oh, jeez. Yeah, multiple drivers just lost their heads there. Yeah, those guys had plenty of. Oh dear. Wow, that is embarrassing. Several cars have plowed into this, and they had all the time in the world to slow down, and they didn't. So that is absolutely embarrassing. That might take some cars out of the race, including the young Marco Ferravino making his debut here today for Trailblazer Motorsports. I think he might fall out of the race with that. But Kyle Collins, I think it might be his first DNF of the year, and it comes at the worst time possible. That is a huge break. Oh! Contact between the 25 and the 44. I mean, that's just insult to injury right there. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people in the back, they're going to be complaining about that stack up. That was some embarrassing stuff. Lodger is not going to be happy. And we're seeing a lot of fuel-only stops. These guys are just kind of wanting to top off. And a few people did stay out. I think Finn guy stayed out. Well, Finn guy's a lap down, wasn't he? Yeah, he was. But some drivers did stay out. Scott Roush is now your leader with some surprising names in the front of the field. Now let's go and take a look at a replay there and see what happened. Well, Fred Jones had to go to a backup car earlier this week. Fred Jones had to go to a backup car in practice. He was involved. His primary car was wrecked in an incident there, and he's got an issue here. See, 3 wide. He pulls down. Wasn't paying enough attention. He pulled down too low, got into Dylan Young, and then the rest is history. They hook, and poor DJ Curtis is an innocent bystander in this. They go up into a wall, and the 86 and the 78, they are hooked. There is nothing anyone can do at this point, and there goes the 86. And Jeffrey Finn guy had nowhere to go but into the 86. Oh, look at Real Lucas. Oh my, what a miss! How about that? That was an amazing miss from the 65. How Real Lucas just continues to pull some pretty impressive stuff. He hasn't had the race pace so far, but there's very, very clearly does have some talent. He showed it in the heat race, and he just showed it there with an incredible dodge. Let's get an onboard look with the 65. Nicely done from the young rookie there. Fantastic miss there from Real Lucas. Oh, problems! Matt Duncan has another problem with the 6. He was going to restart in second, but he's reported. Oh, wow. Okay, they might just want to change some stuff because I think they've got another flat on the 6. What kind of faulty? What kind of defective tires does the 6 team have? They need it. Wow, that is a serious issue. Yeah, Doug, you have to crawl back to the pits and hope that it doesn't damage the suspension. Because of course, those tires they can catch on like the fenders. They can tear and cause some serious damage. See, Doug is just crawling it around again. Lucky timing, although this one's going to send him to the rear of the field. Well, after that Scott Roush is still your leader, and of course he is the points leader in the IndyCar series. Coming into this race, the Indianapolis 500 will be coming a bit later this year, and he has never won the Indy 500, but of course, as an IndyCar driver, he has a lot of experience here. So definitely not surprising to see him running well. Cavagnaro and Nelson behind him. There's the two TRUs of Theodore and Everett. Some good calls from them as we are back to racing on lap number 44. That is going to be the end. On lap number 45, that's the end of the first corner. And Real Lucas restarted up here. He made some strategy calls. I think he may have stayed out, but he is dropping fast. Yeah, that must have been a fuel-only stop because that car is already losing ground in the corners. But, you know, Henry Sanford already making moves, and so is Phyllis Theodore. There have been rumors that Theodore might be leaving the Taogen Racing Unit, and she's looking to catch the attention of some top teams. Same goes for Danny Everett. Everett certainly had some struggles in his career, and he's trying to catch the attention of someone. He's looking to maybe make some gambles, just catch the interest of somebody. This is one of his best racetracks, so he absolutely wants a good run here. But look at Allie Nelson. She's up to third, and she looked underneath the 20, couldn't make anything stick. This is Allie Nelson's first ever Sony 400. It probably comes as a surprise, but yeah, she DNQ'd both races here last year, both the last 2 years, but she is finally here, and it is Audi's debut at this racetrack. She's looking pretty good right now. There's a car in the pit lane. It's Jessica Monroe. She had an issue on the restart, and it looks like it was a tire. Yeah, it looks like it was a flat. Lots of tires going down today. This track not nice on the tires, and that's a tough break from Monroe, who has won here before. She's the defending IndyCar Series champ. But yeah, she does have an Indy 500 win to her name. You know, there's Matt Duncan. He's still trying to work his way through the field. He's kind of fallen behind. I think he lost the draft. He did have to go through a lot of slower cars back there, as you can see favorites way off the pace. Amy Shelley also had to make some progress. Causing Nova's dropped way back, and Rio Lucas is already outside the points. So that was not the call to make. Battle at the front. Well, Scott Roush continues to lead, but Cavagnaro is fighting with Nelson over second. But Henry Sanford is here, and so is Krager. Krager almost gets into the 15. Theodore very nearly cut him off. Yeah, Phyllis Theodore is definitely looking to impress, and she's doing that right now. TRU, not the best equipment in the world, but she is running in the top 5 in the Dilpar Chevrolet. Outstanding stuff so far. Certainly going to catch some people's attention. But Scott Roush is loving seeing these guys battle. Look at that gap he's starting to pull. That's probably about half a second right there. Yeah, 0.7 is the gap. Of course, as soon as they start running single file, they'll catch him very quickly. And that's what Cavagnaro and Sanford are beginning to do now. Wait, hold on. Nope, Sanford's looking. He's looking. Come on, you have to show more patience in that. Speak of patience, Charles Sanford. Well, he's not showing any of it right now, but I think he knows. He's not making too many aggressive moves. He's trying to play us tactically. He wants to get up there and probably try to distract his teammates. Yeah, he wants to get up there get up to the 88 as soon as possible. He just powered past Cavagnaro. He got an amazing run in 3 and 4. You usually don't see something like that. And look at that, he's already making a move on the 88. Charles Sanford cutting through traffic like a knife cutting through butter, and he's up to second. Look at that 24 go. Sanford is a major threat here today. Yeah, I guess, of course, he still has one of the fastest race cars. Still the 3rd fastest lap. Quick run for the field. Yeah, Rio Lucas really falling back. Matt Duncan, James Shelley, they're in the back. And Kazakh Nova, he has some damage. Yeah, we did get word. Apparently Nova had some contact on pit road. He actually has damage on the 27 car, and it's not hurting him right now. It is not hurting him right now. He is running. He's catching his pack of cars. Oh, that's getting a bit tight. 96 and 1 get together. And Ryder Smith passed beneath the both of them. That's another car that's very much on the move. Is the 18 of Smith. He's very fast here today. Will he be patient and draft with Cavanaro, or does he want to get up there as soon as possible? I feel like it may be the latter. Mueller is holding people up. Oh, Sanford's already caught the 90, and he's going to make a move underneath for the lead. Charles Sanford taking no prisoners. That car is flying. Probably the fastest car on the racetrack right now, and he takes the lead with ease. Roush is losing ground. If he just tells you how much more straight line speed the 24 has. Like, they are by themselves, and Roush has the draft, and Sanford, I think, is still pulling away from the 90. There's certainly some impressive stuff going on here. Theodore and Praxis, they're still at the front. Praxis actually trying to push forward underneath his technical partner in Ray Krager. Praxis is seriously on the move. Like, this is more very impressive stuff. More impressive stuff from Praxis. But Cavanaro going to try to get past him. And Ryder Smith, ooh, that's going to give him a setback. He's getting shot by a 96, but the 96 has an issue. And what that's done is that's held up the 25. It's on 25. Oh, contact! And they're going to go in the wall. And the one's up and over. Big trouble. Oh, Fred Jones involved. As the one goes flipping wildly, and Allie Nelson, she has a mechanical failure at the worst possible time, and Danny Everett's involved, and so is Alyssa Kirby. Oh, that has gotta suck. Alyssa Kirby has been looking so fast this weekend, and she was taken down at incident. And as I said, the other young gun, Brandon Barnes, had a huge crash. Several cars were involved, and Connor Atwood was involved. More trouble here. God, this racetrack, Connor Atwood and this racetrack just do not get along. More issues. But that was a big crash. We will have to take a look at a replay there. A lot of guys gonna be glad for that yellow, as it's gonna bunch the field back up. Here is your replay of that wreck. Now we center on Allie Nelson here in the GCI Audi. First race for those new colors, but she's making a move on Ryder Smith, but at that moment, a problem struck for Nelson, which he rapidly loses speed. That holds up the 1 in the 25. Like, that really hurt them. And you're going to see that's good progress. Here comes the raging pack here, headed by Duncan and Everett. And you're going to be looking here. Duncan, he's already slowed down. He sees the wreck. Ryan Manson, I think, wasn't paying quite much attention. Everett, he's trying to be brave and fly around the outside. He was taking a risk there. Now, we're going to see. Was there contact between Duncan and Cole? No, it was Manson. Manson pushed too hard and got himself Cole and the 1. That was all on Manson. And all those cars go into the wall. And look at the 32 goes airborne. The 1 gets squeezed up against the wall. And Brandon Barnes, with a big crash, goes up and over. And Danny Everett, but I think one of the big things is Seth Cole, one of the fastest drivers today. He had one of the fastest race cars out here, and he was involved in that. So, oh, there's Fred Jones. You see, that clipped the roof of the car. I mean, Fred Jones is okay, but the car isn't. You can see the black smoke pouring out, and Brandon Barnes going for a wild ride that ultimately ends on his roof. Tough break for several drivers. Barnes, Kirby, they were all making. Barnes making his debut. Kirby had raced here before. Two very talented young guns involved, and Danny Everett. He really wanted a good race here today. He won here a couple of years ago. He was the first champion of Sony 400. He was really looking to get a good finish to try and impress some people, and it just was not meant to be. So, a tough break for several guys there. But definitely a big deal there is Seth Cole, one of the fastest cars out here today, was involved, and he's got heavy damage. After that big wreck, you only have 90 runners left. Brandon Barnes, Alyssa Kirby, and Fred Jones all fell in the race. I had forgotten to mention that In that first wreck, Shrimp Ingress had fallen out. He got a piece of the first wreck, and it caused some damage to the radiator, and Ingress fell out. So, yeah, that was a tough break for Ingress. He was making, like I had mentioned before, he was making his first start in the Elite Series after 2 previous attempts. But unfortunately, his race ended early. Charles Sanford is your leader on the restart, followed by Scott Roush, Phyllis Theodore, Dylan Young, Ray Prager, Alan Cavagnaro, Baron Praxis, Ryder Smith, William Duncan, and Matt Duncan around your top 10. Well, hopefully Duncan will not have another tire issue. That's Shelley, DeCook, Pericles, Curtis, Nagase, Shelley. Both Shelleys there. Acosta, Lucas, and Connor out around your top 20, and there's the green, back out, and Scott Roush was caught sleeping on the restart. Here at Sanford's got an amazing jump because look at him go! He's already got a good few car lengths ahead of the 90, and everyone just got into turn 1. I think Roush will have to start watching his rear view because I think Theodore is going to be looking for a second here. That's some fantastic stuff from Theodore, but here comes Roush. I think Roush got a slingshot. Yeah, he's wanting to get underneath, and Roush is going for the lead. He got a great run on the 24. That tells you just how strong the power of the draft is here. Theodore moved up, back underneath. There was some contact there, I think, in the 6 and the 18. Matt Duncan aggressively pushing him to the front, and so is Praxis. And here comes Dylan Young. Dylan Young's not been having a very good season so far, but he's up here in 3rd place. That's some fantastic stuff from the Illinois native. And he's looking underneath Roush for second. Oh, almost free wide. Cavagnaro! Cavagnaro looks for a gap that wasn't there, but we've got another caution. Danny Everett and Jessica Monroe just went around. Sanford, Young, and Roush, they're all breaking away. But Cavagnaro, he really shot for a gap that wasn't there. Look at Matt Duncan overdriving turn number 3. He's pushing to the front, and so is James Shelley. That was a fantastic restart for Shelley, and he will be glad that we're going back under yellow, because that's just to give him another chance for a good restart. He seems to be doing... Shelley and Praxis seem to be nailing his restarts, and same for Matt Duncan. I think Duncan's just going to hope that the tires... that the tire pressure stays good. Well, here's a replay. This was way in the back, but Allie Nelson, she is apparently this was enough to go 3 wide for, and that pushes Everett up in the favor, and they hook fenders, and there's nothing to do from there, and Everett gets spun around, bounces up the track, and into Monroe. I don't think Everett or Monroe will be happy with that. I don't think Faber will be pleased. That was pretty ridiculous driving from Allie Nelson. She was a lap down too. I think the officials are going to, race control's giving her a warning for aggressive driving. She's going to need to make sure to back it down and not do that again. We'll restart on lap number 64 now. Cavagnaro is your leader. Matt Duncan is in second, and James Shelley in third. Charles Sanford 4th. William Duncan 5th. Rio Lucas 6th. Connor Outland 7th. They all stayed out. Then Scott Roush in 8th. Ryan Manson in 9th. I think he did fuel only. And then Dylan Young rounds your top 10. And this will be another interesting restart here. We have a lot of drivers staying out. Once again, more strategy calls being made, and Matt Duncan, I think he knows the issues he's had. He wanted to track position. Pretty sure Bryant seems to have had a problem because he's trying to catch back up to the train. He must have had to come down pit road for some kind of issue. We'll see what that means. We'll see what that means for him. But Cavagnaro leads us down. Cavagnaro and Duncan absolutely leave the field sleeping on the restart. Shelley didn't get going at all. Of course, Matt Duncan and Alan Cavagnaro did battle at Buffalo Downs earlier this year, and it ended with Cavagnaro losing the engine on the final corner and Matt Duncan taking the victory. But now we'll see what happens. Duncan is looking underneath, I think. Oh, there's a gap there. Wow, someone didn't get going. Oh, Tyler Faber was in line, I think, because he is holding up cars. And Aiden Shepard's slow as well. I mean, no surprise, it's got no hood on that car. But that is bad news for Nick Pericles and even more issues for Seth Cole, as he's going to lose the lead draft. Meanwhile, back up at the front, Duncan was not able to clear. It is a long ways back to Charles Sanford, who just cleared the 41. That's William Duncan and Scott Roush. And Ryan Manson, he's got a little bit of damage, but he's still up here. He's done a good job persevering through that. And he is up, and he's looking at a top 5 position. Real Lucas, I think he's had a better restart this time. I think he's still falling back, but he is remaining in the top 10 this time. As I think, of course, Lucas not pushing too hard. I do believe he is just like logging laps. He wants to gain some experience, and he's able to watch his rear view there. And here comes Baron Praxis, who is looking for a top 10 spot. Yeah, that's for 9th. There he goes. And now, Ray Krager. Ray Krager entering the picture. He's going to get past Smith. Krager, I think, he's a bit further back on the restart, but he's got a lot of speed. He has a good amount of speed. And where is Theodore? Theodore's got a problem. That is heartbreaking. I noticed the 15 wasn't there, and yet there was some kind of major mechanical issue on the 15, and that is a tough break. Yeah, we are hearing. Yeah, it really is. We're hearing it is a terminal issue. The issue is terminal for the 15. So that has a heartbreak. She's having an amazing run, but it's going to come to an end. I do feel like she's turned some heads of her performance, although, but yeah, I definitely think that she was hoping that she'd be able to stay up there and get some good points. But that lead. In the meantime, Matt Duncan just took the lead, and Charles Sanford moves into 2nd. William Duncan and Scott Roush have also joined the battle. I told you DJ Curtis was going to get up there. Ooh, Acosta gets into the 65. I told you DJ Curtis is going to get up there, and he has. Curtis has been slowly climbing his way up. He has some damage, but he's just been patient, and he's still got some good hand, and he still has good handling. And look at that, he's up to 12th. So Curtis, reigning Sony 400 champ, has some good pace at the moment. We'll have to see what he can do. We'll have to see what he can do. See if he can keep building towards the front. It might be difficult because he does have that damage, but he is looking good. Also looking good is Ryan Acosta, who started 36th, but is now up to 13th. He's actually going to challenge Curtis for 12th. Ryan Acosta does have a lot of experience here. He was an IndyCar driver before the Elite Series, and this is the last time he'll be racing on this. This might be the last time he'll be racing on this track. There have been rumors that he'll announce retirement at the end of the year. Those have not been confirmed or denied. And look at that, the Masterson car. Dick Cook is running up here as well. How about that? He and Masterson Racing, small team. They've been up here every other year. Like, they've raced at this track every season since 2015. Like, Prager made the show for them that year. Then last year was Danny Everett, now it's Dick Cook. And this might be their best performance so far in this race. Comes to wonder what they might be able to pull next year if they make the show again, because we can only assume that Masterson will be returning. Because this team continues to grow and have more and more impressive results. And wow, that's a big gaggle of cars up there. Cavagnaro is their leader. He's pulled a gap over Matt Duncan and Charles Sample, but there's a big pack of cars of Scott Roush having just taken third. And there's a lot of aggressive battling. Three wide at back contact. But Connor through the 25 and the 27. There goes the 27. Oh, hard crash. The 65 and the 27. Hard hit for both of them. Nova crawls away, but that 65 is done. Well, I say he crawls away. Yeah, that car is trashed. Nova, terminal damage on the 27, but that was a hard hit. And the caution is back out. At least I thought I was going to go wrong right away. And honestly, that's another tough break because Rio Lucas was running so well, and that has taken him out of the race. Let's get a look at a replay here. You see Curtis. He went down, Seth Cole was there, there's a three wide just doesn't work. They get together and that pushes Curtis up into 27, and then watch this. Nova's going to hit this wall hard. He goes airborne, almost rolls it, and Rio Lucas nowhere to go, slams the underside of the car. He may have had some amazing misses earlier. He couldn't dodge that one. And that is the end of the race for both the 65 and a 27. And the Wrecking Balls has self-destructed at the worst possible time. As with this, every Wrecking Balls car is out of the race. That entire team has fallen out. But yeah, so Cosmic Nova, this is a major championship implications. He had gotten a penalty last week at Watkins Glen. He needed a good run here today, and he had a good history here of some great results, but he's not getting one here today. He's out of the race. That's a tough break for him, and a tough break for Rio Lucas, who's been looking very impressive all weekend, but I'm sure some teams will be keeping their eyes on him, and to be honest, I'm pretty sure Mach Free will give him another go when we get to Auto Club. James Shelley and Baron Praxis stayed out under that last caution, and so the 41 and 44 will lead the field to the green. On this next restart, it will be lap 77 of 160 as we're approaching the halfway point of this race. The first half has certainly been crazy. Who knows what will happen in the second? But James Shelley leads them down. He's waiting for it to drop the green, and there it is! And Cavagnaro with a fantastic jump. He's already on the 44's bumper there. I'm sure the draft will bring the 66 and 24 back up there very quickly. Yeah, they've already caught up. And, oh, Sanford's peeking. So is Matt. Oh, they were all peeking, but no one could actually make a move. And now we're gonna be at the train. You're gonna see some people step out of line here. Let's see who does it first. It's Cavagnaro, and that's gonna be probably Sanford. Yep, there you go. Cavagnaro challenges Praxis for second as Shelley. I mean, he's gonna be loving this. This is gonna help him open a bit of a gap, and he'll be able to lead. He will be able to lead some laps there in the 41. This is exactly what Shelley needs. What he doesn't need is the fact the monster Camry of Cavagnaro is already catching him, and he was looking extra early in the turn one there. He wants to get up there. He wants to take the lead in a hurry. So there's also the hurry is Ray Krager, who once again. Like, that 17 crew has been struggling on pit road, but Krager's been making it up on every restart. This may be the fastest he's looked this entire season. So there's sort of potential for a good run there. Ryder Smith now passes Baron Praxis for fourth. At least he challenges him, because they're gonna be, of course, he's not got the preferred line there. I think he'll get him. Sanford couldn't quite clear Shelley. And Matt Duncan now charging towards the front. We got three of the Thunder cars moving forward. All the Thunder cars that are still in the race. Looks like he's out. Oh, Duncan! He cut off his kid right there. They almost wrecked. William Duncan not playing favorites. He wants to get to the front as soon as possible. Scott Roush still trying to make some progress. 44 is dropping. I hope there's not a problem on that car. Charles Sanford's already closed the gap on the 20, and look who's in third. Ryder Smith. Ryder Smith certainly is still very fast. And here we go. We're officially at the halfway point here. As we cross the stripe, it is going to be lap number 80 of 160. And as soon as we get that, we got to battle for the lead. Here comes Sanford. And that's going to be easy. Yep, Sanford clears without a problem, but Ryder Smith, he's not going to let him hold it. He goes for it. But Sanford throws the block. James Shelley also still up here. He doesn't have as good equipment as the rest of the field, but he doesn't have as good equipment as the other guys here, but he's still fighting as hard as he can. And we know Shelley's fast. We know Shelley's fast. He's already got a win this year. He won that exciting photo finish at Texas. But both the Duncans are now going to try and stream past the 20. Cavagnaro kind of dropping back, and Ray Krager, he's looking mighty early into turn number one. He's gonna try and make that one stick. Oh, almost contact. I think there was contact. Krager kept it straight. That cost him a lot of momentum, and Ryder Smith now breaks away in search of the 24. Oh, problems for the 44. The engine's gone on the 44 Praxis, and you've got to be kidding me. Man, this is just not a day for the underdogs. Theodore is doing well, Prax is doing well, and both those cars are done. Ryder Smith has been hounding the back of that 24 for the past several laps. Like, he's looked in, like, every corner. Sanford just will not let him go. I mean, Sanford is a master of blocking. We know this well, but man, he just will not let him go. However, we are catching a lap car, the 64 of Christopher Bryant, who is crawling around the racetrack. That problem he had, that wasn't a puncture. There is some serious engine problems happening with that 64. So yeah, it really is. So yeah, definitely Mach 3 Motorsports. They've always shown a lot of pace here, but they've never really been able to seal the deal. That they've usually had something go wrong, and it's the case again this year. It's a tough break. I think they'll be back at it again next year, I'm sure. But here, Ryder Smith made a move, and wow, just like that, he's going to get it done, and he guarantees it by using a 64 as a pick. And God, that car is slow. That also opens the door for Ray Krager to maybe challenge for second, but will he actually make the move? He's holding the inside line. Bryant may want to get out of the way there. Okay, good. 20 goes by, and the doors will be open for the 41. He's gonna block. Both the Duncans are drafting right there. That's interesting to see. Interesting to see father and son tandeming like that. Shelly's gonna end up breaking that up, kind of pushing the 6 up the racetrack. And Ray Krager, yeah, he's not made a move. He's just kind of being patient, drafting. He's just drafting behind him. I know he has been trying to make some moves. There's no denying that, but he's not really being overly aggressive about it. He kind of pulls out. I've noticed he's been pulling out early a lot in turn 1. So just basically, if he has the run, he's gonna make the move. But otherwise, I think he's just drafting. And that's a good way to do things. That's what. Oh, car in the pits. That's Reese Black. Yeah. Oh, can I get and battle for the lead. Sanford went back underneath the 18. And there you go. He retakes it. That 24 was catching the 18 pretty fast. We know he's gained a lot of speed in the draft, and Krager takes advantage of that, and he moves into second. This is definitely the best race of this. This is definitely Krager's best race of the season so far. He's looking very good. And what's also important is that he's looking very consistent. He's not really made any mistakes. And while he's had issues on pit road, but every time he's worked his way back up to the front. So I think we can say this might be Krager's best racetrack. He's definitely been quick here every time we've raced. It's been quick every time we've raced here. We haven't talked much about her, but this is Kei Nagase making her Elite Series debut for also debuting Team Newcom Motors. Now, Newcom Motors is definitely a force in Japan and Europe. They've been building a Formula X program. They've been kind of slowly expanding outside of Japan as they've been building a Formula X program, and Kei Nagase drives for them in sports car racing, and they've been moving over from Japan, and they took a crack at stock cars now, and they do have factory support from Honda. Honda did make an attempt at the Elite Series a couple of years ago. They did make the race, but it wasn't really a successful attempt. This is a fully backed factory team with Newcom Motors, and it's working out pretty well. Nagase's not maybe showing the most pace. She's just been taking it easy, kind of feeling out the car, and it's been working out well for her, as she's currently running 15th. So she is set to give Newcom points in their debut. Sanford may have the fastest car out here today, as he continues to hold the lead and is breaking away from Ray Krager. Ryder Smith has been stuck behind that 17 for a few laps now. He's going to make another move on the 17, and that's a good slingshot. I think he'll get it this time. Dives it in a little bit. It's got the grip and free, and yeah, he'll clear before he even get to turn 4. Sanford and Smith are probably the fastest drivers in the field today. They're definitely the favorites to win here in the late stages of this race. We're catching a lap car though. But that's the 12 of Aiden Shepard, and man, look at the damage on that car. He's bringing the points though. That's definitely good for him. I'm sure Shepard Like, so many times, Shepard has had respectable performances, and then he gets hit of bad luck. He gets hit the bad luck to come up just like a few spots short of points. I wonder if that'll change here today. I mean, he just needs to keep it out there, survive, and not get in any trouble. And if the cards fall his way, he could maybe get some points. And in the biggest race of the year, and I think that would be a huge victory for Raiden Shepard. But the caution will fly on lap number 97 for what we hear is debris on the racetrack. Yes, debris. We believe something fell off the 33 of Connor Atwood, and that's going to bring out the yellow, and it's going to stack this field up again. And I was like, that's the last thing these top three wanted. They had a massive gap over the rest of the field, but that's going to allow Pericles, Duncan, Roush, and the rest of them to catch right back up. We go back to green on lap number 102. That we'll have 59 laps to go. Charles Sanford is your leader. Ray Krieger second. Ryder Smith third. Nick Pericles fourth. Scott Roush fifth. Still having a fantastic run. William Duncan sixth. Matt Duncan seventh. James Shelley eighth. Alan Cavanaro ninth. And Dylan Young rounding your top 10. Then it's Manson, Acosta, Shelley, Nagase, Curtis, They Cook, Seth Cole, and DJ Curtis in 18th. And Christopher Bryant 20th, one lap down. 19th place, Reese Black is up there. He's on the tail end of the lead lap. He had pitted earlier. He did not hit with the lap cars. So he's starting in front of the leaders. Green flag back out, and Krieger not getting a good restart that time. But of course, Sanford got held up a little bit by the 40 there, as we know what's wrong with Reese Black's car. It gets blocked going, and he's gonna get freight train on the high side. Who might use him as a pick? That's certainly a question. Ooh, Krieger really got going there in 1 and 2. He's already looking at maybe making a move for the lead. And he pulls out. There we go. Will Ryder Smith go with him? No, he will not. And he gets pushed up the racetrack. Nick Pericles goes underneath for third. Krieger could not complete the pass, but Scott Roush, I think, is going to push the 31 behind the 18. Yeah, Ryder Smith's dropping. That is not a good restart for Smith. I don't think Roush will get by, though, so he will have a chance to get back up towards the front. And once again, the Duncans continue to tandem. They have been working together for the large part, for a lot of like the later part of this race. They have been working together. I'm wondering when they're going to split up. They might do it now. I'm just wondering. At some point, I assume William Duncan's probably going to move over for Matt. But so far, they've just been tandeming to try and stay up here. And here we go. William Duncan's going to move over now. I feel like considering there's a gap starting to form, I think they maybe should have waited. But yeah, Matt Duncan goes by, and Shelley takes advantage. James Shelley is still up here. Still right fast, free wide in the back. Okay, they made it work. Man, that would have been embarrassing if we had a free wide between 3 slow cars go wrong like that. Yeah, it definitely would have been embarrassing. Yeah, Matt Duncan gets away in 5th. We know he has a good car, but can he catch up to the top 4? The same top 3 from earlier are in his lead group, but now Nick Pericles joins them. The man, he's definitely the fastest of the Banson cars. He's the only one that doesn't really have any problems. Of course, Atwood has some heavy damage, and he brought out that yellow earlier with the debris. But Nick and Ryan Manson, he was involved. I don't think he has any serious damage, but he's been struggling for pace, so that damage. So he may have hurt something in that car. May have caused some handling issues. And Nagase is making a move towards the top 10. She's trying to get the Honda in the top 10, and that's some pretty big stuff there. You know, the top 4 are really settling down. The race is suddenly at the stage where people are just trying to log laps as they just try to keep consistent, not get any trouble, and stay up front so that they can be a factor when we get to the final laps. And Ray Krieger, he's got a slingshot. He's going to pull out here, and he dove it into turn number 1. That's where the 17 is stuck. That's where the 17's really been sticking, and he takes the lead of ease. So Ray Krieger is going to be leading laps, and I think this might be the first time this season that Ray Krieger's leading. I think it tells you he he's he's had trouble really settling in at the 17 team. It's definitely been a bit of a shaky start with these guys, but something has absolutely clicked with the 17 crew here today. This is the fastest Krager has looked all season, and yes, he will lead the lap. But will he lead for long? I don't think so, because Ryder Smith is catching like a bat out of hell. It's only a matter of time before he makes a move. Of course, he had a lot of trouble making passes, I've noticed. I think we know it. We know that many times he'll peek out several times and not be able to make a pass. Will that happen again? Of course, I'm sure Matt Duncan is loving this. He wants them to keep battling so he can catch up. Same goes for Shelly and Cavagnaro. They broke away from this group. Those guys in the back, they've kind of slipped away. There, Ryder Smith looked. It's gonna be off of 4. He's not gonna do anything there, and that's gonna slow them up even further. And now Pericles is going to challenge Charles Sanford. Pericles looking to make it 3 wide. He thinks better of it, but he will pass Sanford, and now he's looking on Smith. And not gonna get the move done there. Sanford needs to tuck back in line quickly and maybe hope for some people to move around. And James Shelley, he's looking on the 6. No, you don't want to do that. You just want to settle down and draft. That's the only way you're gonna be able to catch up. That's the only way you'll be able to catch up to this group, because the top 4 is fast. The top 4 is fast, but you have a good opportunity, because look at this. Smith's been trying to pass Krager, and that's slowing them up a little bit. Because you know how much time we lose racing side by side. You can just try to peek out of line and make a move, especially if you try it off of 4. Especially if you try it in 4, it really slows you up. And there's Pericles. He moved up to 2nd. He took advantage of that loss of momentum. But what's hurting Matt Duncan right now is he's not being able to settle on the line. Shelly is not drafting with him. He's trying to pass him. Shelly is aggressive. Shelly is a very aggressive driver, but he needs to hold off. I know he wants to overpush that car, get up and really get up there, because we don't know if there's going to be another caution. But you have to play it patient, and that's what Matt Duncan is doing. Duncan is just riding it out, letting the top guys fight for position, and he's riding out, letting the top guys fight for position as he works to maybe try and just gonna try to slowly drag the 6 towards them. Just take that 6 and slowly drag it towards them. Shelley's looking again. Cavagnaro, he's taking advantage of that. He's been drafting and slowly catching these guys. So this is now going to be a 3-car train with Matt Duncan, James Shelley, and Alan Cavagnaro. That's kind of familiar, isn't it? Matt Duncan and Alan Cavagnaro have been racing each other a lot today, to say the least. And Ryder Smith, though, that's not going to be good for Duncan, as Smith has broken away from the tandem, and to make matters worse, Shelley is still peeking out on him. And catching up to Christopher Bryant once more to put him, I believe, a 2nd lap down. Man, there are only 23 cars left in this race. That really tells you just how wild it's been here. With all the wrecks and mechanical failures we've had. This is now going to be setting a new record for the lowest number of finishers in the Sony 400, as the previous record was 25. There's certainly been some messy races this season, but the racing has certainly made up for it. But Krager, Bryant definitely hurt him, and nobody's helping him. They want to dislodge at 17 from the lead, and that is exactly what Matt Duncan wants. And they're still side by side. Is Sanford going to look? He is looking. Not going to make the move. Not going to make it. Smith's going to take the lead, and now Sanford's going to try and get by. He got a bad run off of 1. Pericles looking to take advantage of that. And Duncan was passed by the 20. And now Duncan's trying to battle the 20. You don't want to do that. You do not want to do that, especially when you're so close. Because they're so close. This group is starting to break apart, and the train is closing. We could have a 7-car lead pack here soon. Well, a few laps ago, Nick Pericles took the lead. Pericles has been leading a few laps now, and I'm sure he's gonna be happy about that. That car has been very fast, and it's nice to see Pericles running up front. Ryder Smith going underneath Sanford for a second. Oh, Krager going up! Oh, contact! There is contact between the 17 and the 24. And that's gonna, and they're gonna be side by side. That's gonna slow up the 7. That's gonna slow up both of them. This train still trying to catch up. It's still amazing what Matt Duncan's done. I mean, he had two flat tires, and he's now up to 5th, trying to catch his lead pack. He's really on a roll. I think he's starting to pull away from the 20 because, once again, Shelly is not really drafting Cavagnaro. He's trying to make a move. It's breaking the draft, and that's just hurting Cavagnaro and Shelly, and honestly, it might be hurting Duncan if he can't catch the 17. He's going to hope that Krager tries to challenge him again. You know, at the front, Smith got a challenge for the lead. There's a little bump. There's a bump. Smith really wants that lead back. It's also worth noting that we will be approaching green flag pit stop soon, and it's crazy to think, but this could be the only round of green flag pit stops as long as no caution comes out beforehand. But yes, every pit stop has been under yellow, even in a race this long. It tells you how crazy it's been with the cautions. Hey, yeah, these drivers will have to keep that in mind, as they are indeed approaching the end of their fuel run. Smith makes another challenge. They're going to be side by side. He's got a much better run this time, and I think he will get it. Krager's here to capitalize. If there we go, Ryder Smith retakes the lead. Smith tries to Krager tries to capitalize, but he doesn't get the best run off. Oh, but it might be good enough. No, it won't. Pericles does clear, and now Smith has to deal with the 24. But look who's coming. Matt Duncan is entering the fray. He's catching the pack. Cavagnaro and Shelly are both in tow. They're a little further back, but it's only a matter of time before they get up there too. But Matt Duncan is soon to be a factor in this battle. Yeah, he is there. When we get in this corner, he's gonna make a move. Yeah, he's gonna make a move on Sanford right now. Here he comes. Battle for 5th. Battle for 4th. And Matt Duncan, I think he might get it. Yep, here we go. Yep, Matt Duncan is flying right now. Oh, here comes the lap car. We've caught the laps 12 of Aiden Shepard. Going to put him a second lap down now, and he held up the 18 just a little bit. Pericles also got held up a tad, but he gets it. But he gets to the bottom line just in time to avoid the 17's attacks. But for how long? As here comes Krager anyway. Krager attacks anyway, and they're going to be side by side for second. And Matt Duncan's just waiting for one of them to make a mistake. Or he's just waiting for that door to open. Yeah, look at that. Check that slingshot out from the 6. Dives it in. Can't quite get it going. Oh, and Charles Sandberg got slowed up by the 12. And the 20, the 41, the 24. I think they may have lost the draft. And Shelly's still trying to pass the 20, and that's going... I think Charles is going to tell him to stop doing that. I think he's just going to get the 41 out of line so that he can draft the 20. Yeah, we are... Well, Matt Duncan is now at the tail end of this pack here. And Ryder Smith continues to hold the lead. As we come to 27 laps to go. And it looks like someone is slowing. Yes, here we go, Ray Krager. He is making his scheduled pit stop. It is time for the first and only cycle of green flag pit stops today. And Krager is in all by himself. That might not be good. Well, granted, the undercut hasn't necessarily been bad, but it could. But we know how important the draft is here. So coming out by yourself, that can cause a problem. See now though, we're gonna be coming to 25 laps to go, and the rest of the leaders are in. Smith out of his box, and he will still have the lead. And yeah, he's gonna accelerate first, and that will be a pretty big gap. James Shelley came out in second though. So yeah, great stop from the 41 crew. And there you see him on the high side there. There's Krager, there's Shelley, there's Pericles. So it didn't hurt Krager that bad, but it's not gonna have anything on Ryder Smith. He will come out with the lead of the race. That was like Shelley. That was a great call from Shelley and a great pit stop. He will be in second place. Cavagnaro will not. Krager is gonna move in the third. So the undercut actually did work for Ray Krager. Oh man, Matt Duncan all by himself. Duncan's going to be hoping for a yellow because he's completely lost the pack. If no caution comes out, his hopes are over. But James Shelley is pushing that car as hard as he can. Can he get his second win of the year? It would be his 4th career win and the biggest one of his career. But he has to beat the single fastest car on the racetrack to do it. And that 41 doesn't have the same kind of budget as Hamilton Autosports. He is definitely looking for a way to get underneath. He's looking, that's not gonna work out. And now he has to watch out behind him because here comes Krager. And Krager's basically he's basically just low-lining it on the front straight, and he's already got the momentum. So Shelley's out of it. Shelley's gonna be out of it there. But a wrench has been thrown into Ryder's plans as we've got a yellow. Yeah, you heard right. We got another debris caution. This time we believe it was something off of the 12. That car was torn up pretty bad. So yeah, so something just dropped off the 12, and that is going to be a late race caution as we approach 20 laps to go. That is the last thing Ryder Smith needed. But it's definitely what Matt Duncan wanted. He's back in this thing, although he will have to watch out for the lap traffic. He's got the, unless Bryant hits, he's got the Matt Duncan off the restart behind him. And at that, well, yeah, Matt does not want to deal with that, but he just got to go through him if he wants to be able to fight for this win. But everyone else here, Krager, Shelley, Cavagnaro, Pericles, they have a shot, and everyone from 8th on back is now. Everyone from 8th on behind is now back in this thing. So anything could happen on this next restart. Time for what could possibly be the last restart of the race. We'll be restarting with 17 to go. Your leader is Ryder Smith. Second is Charles Sanford. Third, Ray Krager. Fourth, James Shelley. Fifth, Alan Cavagnaro. Sixth is Nick Pericles. Seventh, Matt Duncan. Eighth, Ryan Acosta. Ninth, Scott Roush, a very impressive showing. And right at top 10, Brian Manson. An incredible drive from the 18-year-old. Still doing. Got some issues earlier, but he's come back strong. But here we go. Pace car is in. This could be the restart that decides it. And here we go. And that's not good for Pericles Cavagnaro. Wow, what a terrible restart. And Bryant is really holding the field up, and that's bad news for Matt Duncan. God, that 64 is even slower than I thought. He has to be like 20, 30 miles an hour at the pace. There is just no go in that car, and that just killed Matt Duncan. He's gonna need another yellow, or he's out of it. But here comes Charles Sanford. He wants this win. He's up to second. Shelley passing Krager for third. And Krager's gonna get left out to dry. He's now have to deal with Cavagnaro and Pericles, and the top three are breaking away. $16 laps to go this time. It's gonna be a three-car train. Who is gonna make the move first? Sanford definitely has the better aerodynamics, more straight line speed. If he wanted, he could easily make a move. He's definitely gonna get a slingshot on Smith. Smith's car is the best in the corners, but Sanford still has that straight line speed that he can take advantage of. Yeah, he is definitely getting strung out back there. Ryan Acosta's trying to get into this thing. Boy, it would be something if Acosta could get up here and win. Oh, here we go. Shelley was looking on the 24. He couldn't make anything happen. 15 laps to go. 15 to go in the biggest race of the year. And God, it is so hard to close the gap on Smith there. It is just so hard to close that. I think Cavagnaro's losing out. However, once they start battling for position, he could catch up again. See, Matt Duncan's still part of that fast car group. He's still up there. Actually, Krager's dropped like a rock. Yeah, Krager has fallen back to, I think, 9th. And I mean, that's a shame. Seems he's lost his speed. He's lost his speed after a bad restart, and he's dropped all the way down to 9th. That is going to be a tough break for him. He's going to need something to happen here. Sanford's still looking to groove. He's just patiently waiting right now. He's not doing anything yet. Also, I feel like I need to take time to mention, I mean, we've already talked about how amazing this is for Ryan Acosta. Very good run from Acosta. It's not a great season, but it is one of the best drives he's had in a long time. And Scott Roush, first time in a stock car. He is the IndyCar Series points leader, so he's good on this racetrack. But this is his first time out in a stock car, and he's looking at a top 10 finish. He's kept the car clean. He's just had a fantastic performance. So yeah, good on him. Oh, Sanford's looking. He's looking. He couldn't make anything happen though. And now James Shelley. Shelley's gonna try and get a run on the high side. Don't think he's gonna be able to get anything done there. That could slow Sanford down a bit. Not really. That just slowed Shelley down more than anything. And that could cause a 2-car breakaway between the 18 and 24. We're now getting close to 10 laps to go. It's been a long day with a lot of carnage, but we're nearing the end, and here we go! Sanford making his move! Down low, he's going to have the run. And there you go, Charles Sanford back in the lead of the race with 12 laps to go. That's also brought Shelley back in his thing. He's now drafting behind the 18. Matt Duncan, he's in 4th. He's in the catbird seat if anything happens. If anything happens up ahead, Matt Duncan is in the catbird seat. And Ryan Acosta just moved into the top 5. He just took 5th from Cavagnaro. And now Smith goes back down underneath the 24. I don't think he's going to have the run. He's still there. He is still there. What a run off of 4. He absolutely had the momentum. Oh, wow, he shoved him up the track. Smith taking no chances. But that just puts into perspective just how strong that car is. He was able to get a run off of 4 with no drafting help and hold it down the entire front straight. I think that tells you just how strong that car is. Smith is just terrifying right now. It really looks like the race is between Smith and Sanford. James Shelley is there. He can pick up the pieces if something happens between those two. But I don't think he has the raw pace. It likely will come down to these two for the 400. And now we have 10 laps to go. He's looking underneath him. Try and make his move. Couldn't make it stick. No, Smith still holds the lead. Can Sanford get a run down the back straight, or is he going to wait? He's going for it now. Can he get the slingshot? Into 3. He's gonna he throws it in there. Does he? But he might not have the grip. And we just saw how good that 18 car is in 4. He might be able to get a huge run off of 4 here. He totally is. And look at Shelley. Shelley's he's got to pick a line. He's picking a line. He goes down low. Oh, and now he's gonna make a move on a 24. Or at least he tried to. He couldn't get underneath. And now Sanford has to once again try and force his way up to the 18's bumper. It's nothing doing yet. And Matt Duncan is just sitting back there watching this. I don't think he's catching. He's just not catching enough. Like, Matt Duncan I don't think he'll get there. So he's fast. He is definitely fast, but I don't think he'll get there in time. And Sanford's once again, he's almost pushing the 18. He's going to try again. And he's going to get the run. Lead change once again. And this time Shelley's taking advantage. Look at him throw it in there. He almost made contact at the 18. And that's Shelley up to 2nd. I think it's those aggressive moves like that just puts in perspective just I feel like that puts in perspective just how hard Shelly is driving that car. He is absolutely punching above his weight. He's up here with the big boys. And he could beat them all. Oh, but, however, look at this. They are going to catch up to this slow 64 of Christopher Bryant. He is 4 laps down. He's going to go down to 5th. He is still very slow. And Shelly, can he hold off Smith? Oh, Smith is just forcing his way in. I don't think Shelly's going to be able to hold him off. But Sanford's loving this because look at that gap he's pulling. Yeah, I think they're going to catch that 64. We're heading to 6 laps to go. Christopher Bryant definitely going to play a factor. Now, Mach-Free Motorsports they are in a technical alliance of S3, so it'll be interesting to see what he does here. With 6 laps to go now. Yeah, they're going to catch him now. That's how slow that car is. Ryder Smith is definitely closing. This could either hurt or help him. Here we go. Oh, he's holding up the 24. Get out of the way. What are you doing? Sammer's on the pull out now. Or else Smith will get him. Oh, he's lucky. He pulls out now. Ryder Smith, he's stuck on the high side, and Shelly's going to take advantage. He's going to go for 2nd. Oh, no. Oh, he turned him. And around goes the 41 and the 64. In the wall. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Oh, wait, they're going to go back down the track. No, don't do it. Oh, contact. Monroe, Hart, the 41. Oh, Hart hit for the 32 as well. Oh, we've had a massive crash with 5 laps to go. And I won't lie to you, that looks kind of shady. That wreck needs some serious analyzing. Because from my eye, I mean, that certainly happened. That happened so fast, but I won't lie, that looked kind of shady. But James Shelly just got taken with 6 laps to go. Now 5, James Shelly is out of the Sony 400. He got taken out, and he is livid over the radio. Yeah, I can't play what he's saying. Let's just say, oh, and there's a fight. The 41 team's pit crew is confronting the 18. The 41 team's pit crew is confronting the 18 team. Shelly's confronting them. He wants Ryder Smith to get down there. He wants a piece of him. Oh boy, this is gonna be a mess. Oh, what a mess this has caused. Massive wreck. And I think there's only about 16 cars left on the track. 16, 17 cars about. We need to take a look at what happened. Alright, well, let's take a look at what happened here. Of course, Christopher Bryant was holding up the 24. It's at this point that the 24 pulls out. And that's going to push Ryder Smith up the racetrack. The quarter panel is there. He couldn't go down. So he moves up high. I think Bryant kind of slipped a little bit. And then let's see what happened here. It looks like Smith really pushed it in there. There was contact between the 18 and the 64, and they get turned down into James Shelly. That sends Bryant and Shelly around. And into the wall they go. I mean, at that point, it's already bad enough. But then we're gonna see the field go by here, and it's going to get worse because Shelly and Bryant, they're both gonna try and get going again. Yeah, they're getting the car turned around, and then here comes Jessica Monroe with a huge head of steam. She did not expect there to be a car there, and Shelly does move down the racetrack, and Shelly, nowhere to go, slams it up back at 132 miles an hour, and then the worst part is Ryan Manson. He comes barreling in, and he slams into the 58's passenger side door and sends her flying into the air. That 58 went for one heck of a ride, and then Shelly was slammed by the 25 of Seth Cole. Yeah, that was such a hard crash. You know, there's Reese Black, nowhere to go. That was such a hard crash. And this is the point we will start leaving the data up. So how fast is Manson going? He definitely didn't expect that wreck, but he did do a good. But Manson, he did do a good job to hit the brakes. It was still 110 mile an hour impact. Everyone got out, but luckily, everyone's gotten out of their cars under their own power. So, thank God, Jessica Monroe is okay. Because that was quite a lick that she took. But what concerns me is definitely Ryder Smith. Because the way that 64 got turned around looked awfully suspicious. I said, we're gonna be analyzing this very closely. For starters, we will be taking on board with Ryder Smith. We'll probably take a few onboard angles. I think we'll actually start with Christopher Bryant looking from the rear. That's definitely not very telling. What will probably be more telling is Ryder Smith's on board. And we will be looking at this in slow motion. We need to see. Well, let's take a look at it in full speed first. I mean, Bryant was up there. But Ryder Smith did not back off one bit. He did not back off at all. I feel like he should have backed off. I was like he had to check up for the corner. But like he did not slow down nearly as much as he should have. I mean, how fast was Bryant going? Bryant wasn't going that slow in the corner. Bryant was not going all that. Now, Bryant was not going all that slow in the corner. But I feel like he would have checked up a little more. He really went into that. He really threw that car in there. There was no contact with Shelley. Shelley didn't really push him up. I don't feel like he did. No, Shelley was hugging that bottom line. He was hugging the bottom. So Shelley did not push him up. Smith was he was right where he needed to be, and he took a very strange line into that corner. This incident is under investigation from race control. There is something about it looks very off to me. That, I won't lie to you, it does kind of look like that may have been intentional. Whether or not it's deemed as such, well, that's up to race control. But that looked very shady with the way he threw it into that. The way he threw that corner and how he didn't really check up. He should have lifted. So something about that incident looks very shady. But we'll have to see if we can even get back to green. Well, let's see here. We're gonna be heading on to lap 159. If the lights do not go off, we will be going to a green-white checkered. If they do, we're having a one-lap dash, and whatever happens, happens. Either way, this race is about to reach its conclusion. Sanford is leading the way. Here we go. Crossing the stripe. Are the lights going to come off? Yes, they are! One lap dash. is what they say. So 160 laps of racing, 2.5 hours, and it's all going to be decided with 1 lap. Charles Sanford, one of the strongest drivers all race, will restart from the lead. Ryder Smith restarts from second. He is still under investigation from race control after that very suspicious incident with the 64 and the 41. But, of course, he's going to try and get up there. He's going to take advantage of this yellow, because he is in the perfect spot to take this lead. He's in the perfect spot to win this race. Matt Duncan, he had lost a tire on 2 different occasions. He's now in third. Ryan Acosta, he's raced this track many times. He now has a shot at Sony 400 glory. He restarts in 4th. Matt Duncan's pops, William, he restarts in 5th. Ray Krager is in 6th. That's Nick Pericles in 7th. Dylan Young in 8th. Amy Shelley in 9th. And Alan Cavagnaro rounds out your top 10. Well, this is it. The fans all watch with bated breath as we prepare to strap those belts tight and put the pedals down for one final lap of Sony 400 racing. Sanford is so close to victory, he can taste it, but he needs a good restart. And even then, he won't be safe with fast cars like the 18 and 6 behind him. Anything could happen as the pace car comes down. The green and the white are gonna wave at the same time. And here we go. 1 lap to go, and he did not get the jumping in. Ryder Smith and Matt Duncan both had great restarts. Duncan looks underneath the 18, but Smith looks too, and here he comes. Ryder Smith underneath the 24. Matt Duncan, he searches up. He's trying to find a place to go. He's going into the 24. But look who's coming up behind him. It's the other 2 Thunder cars, and here comes Pops. And look at Matt Duncan. He's looking. Can he make it stick? He's underneath the 18. They're racing side by side in the free. And coming in turn 4 for the final time. Matt Duncan has the edge. Can he clear? Yes, he can. Matt Duncan's cleared. And off the final corner, he's home free. The next generation driver, Matt Duncan, is going to win the Sony 400. Oh my God. What a finish. And Matt Duncan, the son of the legendary driver William Duncan, is a Sony 400 champion. You can bet he's crying tears of joy in that cockpit. What a wonderful moment. And William Duncan pushed him home. He pushed. What a magical moment. What a magical moment that is. And Matt Duncan is finishing up his victory lap. This win, I'm sure, really means a lot to the Duncan family. I said, William Duncan was a legend of the IRCA Monster Energy Cup Series, but one thing that he won just about everything there was to win, but one thing always eluded him, that series' biggest race, the Daytona 500. It was just not something he was ever able to win. The Sony 400 now is this series' biggest race, and I think to see Williams' kid take home the victory, it's going to be a very emotional day when they get back. It's a very emotional day for that family, and when they get back to the shop in Hardy, I'm sure there'll be lots of partying. As Matt Duncan burns it down, he is your Season 4 IS Sony 400 winner. Oh, hit the wall there, but yeah, what an emotional win this is gonna be for that team. This team was also not really having a great season, but so even in the championship, this is going to mean a lot for them. As, of course, like all three of their cars finished very well. And Ray Krager did make a comeback. So, Matt wins, and both William Duncan and Ray Krager finish. Oh, look at that. Tries a reverse burnout, can't really get the smoke out. Trying to back it up against the wall. Trying to think of some stylish ways to celebrate. And one little more spin across the bricks for good measure. Yeah, he's gonna get that flag, and then he's going to bring it. He's gonna bring it back. He's gonna bring it back in the pits. Now we still don't know what's in the deal. Ryder Smith is. We haven't told. Race Control will tell us. Race Control has come to a decision. They'll be telling us about that shortly. We don't know yet. We don't know what the deal with Smith is yet. But we will find out shortly what they have decided on. But as Matt, he doesn't care about that. Like Matt and the Duncans, they don't care about that. All they care about is that they are the winners. So, following the race, the ISCC did announce that upon further analysis, it was determined that Ryder Smith intended to bring out a caution with that late race wreck. He went in with the full intention to turn the 64 of Christopher Bryant, and James Shelley and the other cars involved in that wreck were collateral, but the intention, the subsequent mess that followed, has resulted in one of the biggest surprises we've seen in a while. Ryder Smith has been disqualified. He was going to finish second, but his DQ will result in him being dropped to a 42nd place finish. He will not score any points today. But moving on to the results, congratulations to Matt Duncan on a fantastic victory. This will very much help him in his championship bid. Charles Sanford gets moved up to second place. He had a great race today, but just didn't have enough to seal the deal. William Duncan, Matt's fodder, comes home in third, and this makes it 2 top 10s and 1 top 5 in his 2 starts so far this year. Ray Krager finishes 4th. Team Thunder will be happy with him. He stepped up and did what the team asked. Nick Pericles finishes a much-needed 5th, and Brian Acosta, great run for him. He gets his best Elite Series finish here at Indy. Fantastic stock car debut for Mercedes and for Amy Shelley, as the number 80 Monster Mercedes team comes home in 7th. Dylan Young also have a great run for Young Motorsports since he finishes in 8th. Alan Cavanaro won't get the sweep, but he does come home in 9th, a good finish for him, and Scott Roush finishes in 10th, a great result for him. Now it's time for him to shift focus back to IndyCar. Newcomb Motors has a fantastic debut in the Elite Series as Kay Nagase comes home 11th, and Jock Day Cook finishes 12th for Ian Masterson Racing. Like DJ Curtis may have not taken his 2nd consecutive Sony 400 victory, but he survives the chaos and finishes a very solid 13th for that 78 crew, and now helped them a lot in the championship since that is, of course, double points. Conrad was once again bit by Indianapolis, but this time around he was able to survive and come home in 14th. Allie Nelson's first Sony 400 start was a bit shaky, but she makes it home 2 laps down to finish in 15th. Aiden Shepard comes in through adversity to finish 16th for Young Motorsports. I'm sure he will be very happy with that result. Seth Cole did not finish the race, but he'll still get points. He's ranked in 17th, and he's actually ranked ahead of Christopher Bryant in 18th, who finished 5 laps down. And then James Shelley and Ryan Manson also DNF'd, but they do score points. I think Shelley and Manson were both looking for much more, however. Now, moving on to the standings. Charles Sanford takes over the point lead on 361 points. He is in the capper seat right now. Matt Duncan, following his win, moves up to 2nd in the championship, only 20 points off the lead. Ryder Smith was going to be your point leader, but following his DQ, he is now 3rd, 48 points off the lead, and the ICC has stated that there is a possibility of further penalty. After his DNF, Sean Angel drops to 4th. That is not a result he needed. And Kyle Collins also is in 5th, 68 points off the lead. Right now, only the top 5 are within a race of the point lead. Seth Cole is in 6th, Chris Louvieres had a bad few weeks as he now finds himself 100 points off the lead in 7th. 8 points away from that is James Shelley in 8th, and he is tied with Cosmic Nova in 9th. Then Maxwell Chan is currently top 10, 115 points off of Charles Sanford. And then you have to move 27 more points down to 11 before you find Niko Polyakov, who is in a disappointing 11th in the championship, 142 points away from the lead. He'll need to get some good runs in the second half of the year. And Ray Krager, with his top 5 finish today, moves up to 12th in the standings, and it will be a much-needed momentum boost as we head into the European Tour. Nick Pericles jumps up from 21st to 13th with his top 5, and Reese Black finds himself in 14th. Tyler Faber drops to 15th, 184 points off the lead. His top hopes have certainly taken a major hit. The 74 split car, Brandon Wood and David Valzak, drops to 16th after DNQing, and the number 3 team finds himself in 17th, also after DNQing, because Connor Atwood's run does not count as he drove a 33 car, not the free. The actual free car, which is driven by Carl Sander, did not make the race. After his 6th place, Ryan Acosta jumps up to 18th in the standings, making their all 3 Dodge Motorsports cars now inside the top 20 in points. Allie Nelson holds on to the top 20 in 19th, and then with his run, Dylan Young will round out your top 20 in the standings. And with a wild and emotional Sony 400 out of the way, that concludes the first half of the Season 4 Insomniac Elite Series. It's now time for the teams to buckle down and focus on the second half as the championship starts to take form. Next week, it'll be the last race before the European Tour begins as the teams return to the fast banks of the Michigan International Speedway.